Morning, Robert. Morning, Gautam. We'll just give it another minute or so and we'll get started. Morning, Jessica. It's some kind of oil infuser or something. I only like it for the nice colors. Morning, Douse. All right, so let's get started. We'll do the precepts on page 9. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyam buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tisarana sampunang. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kame sumicchachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura Merya Majjapamaddatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Tisiranena sadding panchasilang dhammang samadhiyatva sadhukang surakkatang katva appamadena sampadeta abang. Silena sukating yanti, silena bhoga sampada, silena nibbuting yanti, tasma silang visodaye. All right, page 23 to start our daily chanting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vidya charana sampano sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati svakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko panayako pacchatang vedatabbo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sango ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sango nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sango samichipatipanno bhagavato savaka sango yadidang chattari purissa yugani yatta purissa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sango ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punya kettang lokassati Buddho susuddho karuna mahannavo yo chanta suddha baranyana lochano Lokassa papu pakile sagatako vandami buddhang ahamadadena tang Namo te purisa janya namo te purisuttama Sadeva kasming lokasming nattite patipuggalo Dhammo padipo viyatassu sattuno yo magga pakka matabeda binnako Lokuttaro yo chadhadatta dipano vandami dhammang ahammadarena tang Yo cha dhammam abhinyaya dhammam anyaya pandito Rahado va nivato cha anejo vupasammati Ye sang dhamma asamutta parivade sunaniyare te sambuddha sammadanya charanti vasame samang ye kechyo sadha loke vidjanti vividha bahu dhammo sada samannati etang pivita bhikkhavo dhammo sadang pivitvana ajara maranasiyam bhavayitva chapasitva nibbutta upadikaye. Sango suketta byatiketi sannito yoditta santo sugatana bodhako lolapahino ariyo sumedaso vandami sangang ahamadharena tang suko buddhana muppado suka sadhamma desana suka sangassa sammaggi samagganang tapo suko Pahungve saranang yanti pabbatani vanani cha arammarukka chatyani manusa bayatajjita netang ko saranang kemang netang saranang uttamang netang saranang agamma sabbadukka pamucchati yo cha buddhan cha dhamman cha sanghang cha saranang gato Chattari ariya satchani sammapanyaya passati dukkam dukkha samuppadang dukkhassa cha atikkamang ariyanchitangikam maggam dukkupasamaгаminang etang ko saranang kemang etang saranang uttamang etang saranang agamma sabba dukkha pamucchati Himaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi. Himaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya dhammang pujemi. Himaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya sanghang pujemi. Mano pubangama dhamma mano satta manomaya. Manasa che paduttena basati va karoti va tato nang dukkam manveti chakkang va vahato padang manopu bangama dhamma manosatta manomaya manasa che pasannena basati va karoti va tato nang sukham manveti chaya va anapayani Anicca vata sankhara upada vayadhamino upajitva nirujjanti te sangvu pusumosuko sabba papassa akaranang kusalassa upasampada sachitta pariyodapanang etang buddhana sasanang kanti paramang tapotittika nibbanang paramang vadanti buddha Nahi pabbajito parubhaghati samanohoti parang viheta yanto Anuppavado anuppagato patimokke cha sangvaro Mattanyuta cha bhattasming pantancha sayanasanang Adichitte cha ayogo etang buddhana sasanang Minna punya kammena upajjaya gunuttara achariyupakara cha mata pita piya mamang Suryo chandimaraja gunavanta nirapicha Brahma mara cha inda cha lokapala cha devata Yamo mitta manussa cha majjata verika picha Sabbe satta sukhi hontu punyani pakatani me Sukhang chativedhang dentu kepang papetu vomatang Imena punya kammena imena udasena cha Kipahang sulabhe cheva tanupadana chedanang Ye santane hina dhamma yava nibbana to mamang Na santu sabbada yeva yatta jato bave bave Ujucetto satipanyo sale ko viryavamino Mara labantuno kasang katuncha virye sume Buddhadi pavaro nato dhammo nato varuttamo. Nato pacekka sambuddho sangho no tuturo mamang. Teso tamanubhavena maro kasang labantuma. Imena punya kamena malme bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Dukkha patta chanidukka baya patta chanibaya sokka patta chanisoka hontu sabbe pipaniyo. Bhavagupa daya avuchi avichi hatato etantare sattaka yupapanna. Rupiya rupi cha asanya sanya no dukkha pamuchantu pusantu nibbuting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right. So our secondary chant of the day, going through Satipatthana Sutta. We're on page 157, still in Kaya Nupassana, contemplating body. All right, as we come to the charnel ground contemplations, this is going to be interesting Pali for me to try. Let's get started. Dhatu Manisikara Pabbang Punachaparang Bhikkave Bhikkhu Emang Eva Kayang Yatta Tittang Yatta Panihitang Dhatu So Pachavekati Atti Masmin Kaye Pattavi Dhatu Apo Dhatu Tejo Dhatu Vayo Dhatu Uti Seyatapi Bhikkave Dakko Gogatako Gogataka Nente Vasi Vagaving Vaditva Chatuma Hattapate Bilaso Pativita Bajitva Nisino Assa Evang Eva Ko Bhikkave Bhikkhu Emang Eva Akayang Yatta Tittang Yatta Panihitang Dhatusu Pachavekati Atti Emasmin Kaye Pattavi Dhatu Apo Dhatu Tejo Dhatu Vayo Dhatu Uti Evang Pi Bhikkave Bhikkhu Kaye Kaya Nupassi Viharati Kaya Nupassana Nava Sivatika Pabang Punachaparang Bhikkave Bhikkhu Seyatapi Passeya Sarirang Sivatikaya Chaditang Eka Matang Va Dviha Matang Va Tiha Matang Va Udhum Matang Matakang Vinilhakan Vinilakang Vipubaka Jatang So Imang Eva Kayang Upasamharati Ayang Piko Kayo Evang Dhammo Evam Bhavi Evang Anati Toti Punachakarang Bhikkave Bhikkhu Seyatapi Paseya Sarirang Sivatikaya Chaditang Kakehiva Kajamanang Kulalehiva Kajamanang Kijehiva Kajamanang Supanehiva Kajamanang Sigalehiva Kajamanang Vividehiva Panaka Jateya Kajamanang So Imang Eva Kayang Upasamharati Ayang Piko Kayo Evang Dhammo Evam Bhavi Etang Anati Toti Punachaparang Bhikkave Bhikkhu Seyatapi Passeya Sarirang Sivatakaya Chaditang Attika Sankalikang Samangsa Lohitang Naharu Sambandang So imang eva kayang upasamharati ayang piko kayo evang dhammo evam bhavi etang anati toti. All right, English. Contemplation of the body, the four elements. Again, bhikkhus, bhikkhu reviews this body, this very body, however it is placed, however it is disposed, as consisting of elements thus. In this body there are earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. Just as though a skilled butcher or his apprentice had killed a cow and was seated at the crossroads with it cut up into pieces, so too a bhikkhu reviews this very body, however it is displaced, however it's disposed, as consisting of elements thus. In this body there are earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. This is how a bhikkhu dwells contemplating body in the body. Contemplation of the body, the 9 charnel ground contemplations. Number 1. Again, bhikkhus, as though he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a charnel ground, 1, 2, or 3 days dead, bloated, livid, and oozing matter. A bhikkhu compares this very body with it thus. This body too is of the same nature. It will be like that. It is not exempt from that fate. Again, as though he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a charnel ground, being devoured by crows, hawks, vultures, dogs, jackals, or various kinds of worms. A bhikkhu compares this very body with it thus. This body too is of the same nature. It will be like that. It is not exempt from that fate. Again, as though he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a charnel ground, a skeleton with flesh and blood, held together with sinews. A bhikkhu compares this very body with it thus. This body too is of the same nature. It will be like that. It is not exempt from that fate. All right, friends, let's continue on with our thought of the day. Back to Aditta Pariyaya Sutta, how the world is on fire. So we are on page 129. Oh. Third paragraph down. Mano bhikkhave aditto dhamma aditta mano vinyanang adittang mano sampasso aditto yadidang mano sampassa paccaya upajjati vedyatang sukkang va dukkang asukkang va tangpi adittang kena adittang ragagina dosagina moagina adittang jatiya jaraya maranena sukkehi paridevehi dukkehi domanasehi upayasehi adittang ti vadami. English. The mind, bhikkhus, is on fire. Mental objects are on fire. Mind consciousness is on fire. Mind contact is on fire. And whatever sensation, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, which originates in dependence on mind contact, that is also on fire. And with what are they on fire? With the fire of passion, I say, the fire of hatred, the fire of delusion. With birth, old age, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, they are on fire. All right. Okay, friends. So now we come to the mind. All right, we've gone through the the various other senses, right? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, all on fire with greed, hatred, and delusion, with our craving, all on fire. And the mind is no exception. The mind is also on fire. As a matter of fact, that's where the origin of the fire, isn't it? The craving in the mind. So of course, now this is also important, this understanding, the word here for mind objects is dhammas. So this is all mental phenomenon, right? So all our thoughts, impulses, urges, all these kind of aspects of the mind, right? They're all on fire. They're all on fire because when they arise, we attach to them, we're repulsed from them, our likes and our dislikes arise. And so then our thirst is there. You know, if you're some people, like myself, big kind of people who like to get lost in their own mind. Daydreamers. Right? Just at school, daydreaming about what I'll be in the future. Right? At church, daydreaming something interesting so I wouldn't be so bored. All these kind of things. Just to get lost in the mind. Lost in the future. Right? Really pleasant thoughts. Of course, we don't really think unpleasant thoughts. Not intentionally. Why would we want to do that? We want to think pleasant thoughts. Right? And so our mind and the thoughts that arise and the contemplations that we do in the mind, right, are on fire. Right? We add this extra thing. The mind and thoughts are just mind and thoughts. But because we add our craving to them, and we want to keep propagating them, thinking about them over and over and over and over again, enjoying our thoughts, right? Or, well, some people suffer from their thoughts, right? I know what depression is like. I know what self-criticism and all kinds of, negative thinking is like. That's not pleasant, but it's craving. It's all our craving. It's all our thirst. Right? And because of that, it's all on fire. Fire with greed, hatred, and delusion. Fire with sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. So then it is our job as followers as Maggaseka, students of the path, followers of the practitioners of the Noble Eightfold Path, it is our job to start to douse that fire, right? And with the mind and thoughts and stuff, we get that practice when we sit down to follow our breath. Remember, we're practicing Anapanasati, right? We sit down, we make an intention, and we're going to follow our breath. 10 seconds later, our mind is somewhere else, right? That's normal. But that we see, okay, our mind's on fire. When somebody's on fire, if you've ever watched like somebody on fire, they don't just sit there, except for that one monk in Vietnam, but everybody's like, like that, right? And so that's our mind. Like, you go to sit down and be calm, and your mind's like, like running around like it's on fire, because it is. Right? So when we practice mindfulness of breathing, when we sit down and follow our breath, we are practicing to see the mind, how it is, to see our craving, to see how on fire it is, right? And to practice tranquilizing the mind, calming the mind, right? Smothering that fire a little bit, dousing that fire a little bit. Slowly but surely. So today, friends, during the day and when you practice, you can think about this practice of working with the mind and starting to let go of the fire, right? Starting to let go of the craving, of the thirst. I wish you a very spiritually successful and peaceful day. Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy. Practice well and be well. So today will be in about 11 and a half hours, Dhammapalooza. So come and join us again. And then tomorrow morning we'll have our last morning monastery experience for the week. As I said before, I'm going to end the morning monastery experience by July 1st, because then it'll be like 13 days before I get on the plane. I'm going to be in different places and things like that. So it's going to be best to probably end it by the end of this month. Okay, friends, until next time, may you have a spiritually successful and peaceful day.